First of all, I want to acknowledge that life on Earth right now is often crazy, harsh, lonely and painful. Yes, I know that many of you are suffering. Many of you are in uncertain and insecure situations. Many of you have lost loved ones. I very much empathize with you. As humanity is completing the timeline trigger events of the Ascension timeline, which manifested as the consciousness enslavement of human beings by those intruders that invaded our planet. The shackles of mental bondage connected to mind control transmissions, suppressing the Atlantean records, are beginning to dissolve. Awakening humans are at the crossroads in the natural ascension timeline, in which they are facing the next stage of the consciousness evolution cycle. That includes a newly discovered personal freedom to information that they did not have access to before. Thus, the current Dark Night of the Soul themes for the collective consciousness are about awakening to the reality of having been enslaved in a consciousness suppression system. And you will soon, very soon, see and feel a new experience that will catapult these great changes forward. Raising the momentum, raising the cavalcade that is coming forth as it is cascading, just as the water cascades after a dam explodes. Or a dam has been destroyed and the water explodes out. That is what is happening, the water of truth, the water of light, the water of spirit that is spreading everywhere. Know this as you continue to move forward, as you continue to allow these changes to happen first within you, within the individual that you are. But as these changes are happening within you, whatever those changes might be, each and every one of you are different. You have a different experience of this. You are having a different ascension experience than anyone else. Yes, there are some similarities, but for the most part, you are all having, and will continue to have, an individual ascension experience. And it is meant to be this way. Everything is meant to be exactly as it is happening now. We understand that many of you are feeling that us galactics are not moving quickly enough and that the end of 2026 is too far away. There is a very understandable perspective. If I was living on Earth, I very well may be feeling that way too. From my perspective, we are moving as quickly as is feasible. You personally may be awake, but most people are not, and uplifting the consciousness of an entire planet takes time. Then, many people will interpret that as hostile alliance, trying to destabilize Earth and trying to undermine their leaders. After all, many people falsely believe that their leaders are working in their interests, when often they do not. And as we have shared previously, if us galactics arrest the bad guys and try to hand you a love-based society, then that may not be stable and we risk replaying Atlantis. Whereas if Earth humans arrest the bad guys and create a love-based society, it probably will be stable. The channeler recently watched a documentary about Americans trying a nation build in the Middle East, and how it doesn't work if one group of people tries to impose their way of life on another group. That's not a perfect analogy, but as a comparison, this is also not completely irrelevant. Make no mistake, what most people on Earth want right now is normalcy and comfort and rest. Most Earth people are actually gargantuan changes in society or more unexpected events. Thus, the Ascension Timeline Rebellion is a significant marker in the hidden historical timelines of planetary invasion, especially those that were from lineages of the Blue Flame Templars protecting the planetary network. There was no warning to hide or prepare when the great betrayal gave our enemies all they needed to take us over. I'm going to call this now the changing of the guard, for that is indeed that is happening. You are experiencing a changing of the guard, changing of the old ways. The old 3D illusionary system is changing right before your eyes in many respects. But again, it is still mostly for those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And you are able to experience this change as it is happening, and know that it is happening. And as you've heard many times, you can watch this, watch it happening, watch it as a movie playing out. And the movie is playing out, and eventually it will come to an end, and you will experience a glorious end to this, and a great and wonderful new miraculous beginning to the new golden age that is upon you. The main focus for the awakened population is made upon the foundations of inner spiritual study, deep self-reflection, at the personal commitment to expand one's consciousness into expressing benevolence towards all of life, even while present in energy fields filled with hatred, false accusations, and dark ignorance. We must continually choose unconditional love as the guiding force we want to expand and grow inside of our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body. As we expand our consciousness into loving kindness and compassionate thoughts, we shift our perspective to feel our deeper interconnection with all of life and the natural world. Many people, especially starseeds, have undergone repeated consciousness wiping attacks during sleep state or abduction on interdimensional plans, in the attempt to scramble cellular memories recorded in their original genetic records or to remove them completely. The planet has had serious problems with the intruder entities using advanced interdimensional technology for the purpose of implanting false memories and false identities into people's timeline, in order to exert control over the person's belief system and emotionally manipulate that person to cause harm to themselves and to others. This phenomenon of implanting false memories, false entities, and false images into an individual's consciousness layers is commonly done through holographic inserts, artificial clone-like body parts, and red cube technology, which projects out fallen timelines that appear as clairvoyant imagery, clairaudient voices coming from artificial virtual reality.